Hello. Welcome to a new episode about the great world of psychology on Enrique.com. In this episode, you are going to learn about the 9 types of ignorance that exist and some of their characteristics. Let's go. Usually, the word ignorance is used as a negative term, but it doesn't have to be that way. We are all ignorant in some aspect or subject, and this is not necessarily bad as many people think. Below, I will explain the types of ignorance that exist and some of their characteristics. What is ignorance? In general terms, ignorance is the lack of knowledge, wisdom, or even experience. On the other hand, there are definitions of various types of ignorance depending on the field to which it refers. The latter are the types of ignorance you are about to learn about. The 9 types of ignorance in human beings. Before looking at the types of ignorance, it is important to admit that no one knows everything. Therefore, you should not feel bad about not knowing something. Even the wisest and most intelligent people admit this valuable truth. In conclusion, when you don't know something, simply say, "I don't know." Now let us turn to the types of ignorance possessed by human beings. Number 1. Excusing ignorance. This type of ignorance is presented involuntarily and with total ignorance, or even without capacity, since the person who falls into this ignorance with respect to a particular topic or issue is not aware of it. Number 2. Presumptuous ignorance. This ignorance arises when a person presumes knowledge about something he or she does not know. In other words, the attitude of denying the possibility of knowing something within the fields where the methodology is epistemologically unacceptable. Number 3. Guilty ignorance. Basically, this is self-deception. It is a way of avoiding certain responsibilities that might be morally inadmissible in certain circumstances, and the fact is that, when referring to culpable ignorance, one is dealing fundamentally with some highly relevant moral issue. Number 4. Rational ignorance. This term refers to the acceptance of ignorance in those cases in which it is eminently rational, that is, that one is fully aware of it. Number 5. The learned ignorance. Learned ignorance is that disposition or capacity to recognize the limitations of all rational knowledge. This type of ignorance refers to the fact that, if a person succeeds in knowing his own capacity for ignorance, he would thereby be more learned, so that knowledge would consist of a certain comparison between that which is familiar or known and that which is unknown to that person. Number 6. Conjectural ignorance. This type of ignorance refers to the set of formulations, hypotheses or conjectures about reality that will later be subjected to the test of their probable falsification, which is the experimental procedure that could disprove the initial idea. Number 7. Inevitable ignorance. As a person increases his knowledge over time, and especially in the field that is related to his interests or profession, the greater the amazement at what he does not know. Specifically, the more you know, the more you realize how much you do not know and perhaps will not know. Number 8. Sweet ignorance. This concept refers to the fact that there are things that are not known, mainly because there are certain subjects that in reality it is preferable not to know or not to have knowledge about that or other issues. And we come to number 9. Pluralistic ignorance. This type of ignorance occurs when within a set or group of people, each one of them thinks that the others have more information about a situation or issue and, therefore, they also have more information about a doubtful or uncertain event. For that reason, each one of these people is dedicated to observe the behavior of the rest in order to make an analysis and interpretation that is as correct as possible without believing that it is possible that the others also do not have the certainty that they are doing the right thing or not. This is why everyone in the group can get carried away by what others are doing. This can lead to inaction when solving certain problems, and can also cause a decrease in the productivity of a group of people working together. Thank you for listening to me. Remember that you can learn interesting topics about the world of psychology on Enrique.com. See you in the next chapter.